In this week's episode of Streaming Fundamentals, we're going to look at platform choice, as in what service you should stream to, or not should, but what you can stream to. Now, before we begin, I realize that some of us are limited to what service we can stream to, especially if we're a console player. On PlayStation 4, your choices are between YouTube Gaming and Twitch. If you're on Xbox One, your choices are between Twitch and Mixer. But we're not going to delve into that. That's for the next episode when we talk about streaming from console. Rather, today, we're going to try to look objectively at the different platforms, some of the pros and cons of each, and also just, kind of information if you're unfamiliar with them. Because it's so easy to go off, old information, because all the platforms have changed, they've grown, they've even kind of shifted their layouts as time has went by. So, there's a very good chance that the last time you checked out one of these platforms, it's actually very different today than it was then. So the platforms we're going to look at today are YouTube Gaming, of course. One of the most favorite platforms, of course, is Twitch. So we'll have a look at Twitch. We'll also have a look at Mixer, which was formerly Beam. We're also going to have a look at Smashcast, because Smashcast is quite a niche platform. And then at the end, we'll also just very, very briefly cover the two social media platforms, which of course are Facebook Live and Twitter/Periscope. Now, depending on what platform you go with is going to depend a lot also on your actual motivation. Remember, if your primary motivation is money or trying to support yourself, make a living from streaming, the latest numbers from Gartner do all the kind of analytics and research data for technology. Their latest numbers when it comes to live streaming, right? And this is globally, this is taking all the platforms into consideration. Out of a gamer base of 1 billion gamers, the amount of streamers who can support themselves, as in that is it, their full-time job, it's enough to live off and live off comfortably. Numbers in the hundreds globally. Again, so that's just a little reality check. Again, depending on what your motivations are. But with that being said, let's get right into it, shall we? So let's talk about YouTube Gaming. Now, YouTube Gaming is, it's a layout that is quite familiar, quite similar actually to other live services. And you can scroll through, you can see all the different people that are playing, different games. Now, to be fair, it's around lunchtime over here in the UK, so the numbers aren't quite as high. It's definitely not prime time, so to speak. But it's fair to say that the YouTube Gaming, the live stream aspect of YouTube, doesn't have, a huge viewer base when compared to a larger platform like Twitch. But with that being said, YouTube Gaming has quite a loyal fan base. It's a tough sell if you're just starting out in streaming to start streaming to YouTube, because when it comes to things like monetization, to become a YouTube partner, you have to hit certain things like having 10,000 views, which if you're just starting out, that seems, oh my God, right? That's a huge number to hit. I'm of the opinion that YouTube Gaming is really better suited for those of us that make content on YouTube already. If you're, a YouTube content creator, because it's much easier for you to make that transition from recording videos to then live streaming videos. Because that's one of the best features of YouTube Gaming. When you're live streaming, it'll auto-archive those streams and add them to your channel. I'm a YouTube partner myself. I honestly haven't done that much streaming to YouTube Gaming. And that's basically my own fault, because again, looking at how it used to be, chat used to just, it didn't work half the time, and there wasn't much what's the word I'm looking for, integration with a lot of like chat moderation bots, and same like with doing layouts and things, but that's all a thing of the past. YouTube Gaming in its current state is actually quite user friendly. Yes, it doesn't have, the same amount of features that Twitch has, which we'll talk about shortly. But overall, it's quite a good experience. It is harder to become a partner, but once you have become a partner, the revenue model, of course, is ad based. Now, that's not stopping you from doing other things like Patreon, although you've got to be careful now because YouTube has really been coming down hard on people advertising their Patreons, even monetizing videos recently. I've been relatively lucky, but I've seen plenty of people out there that have been having a lot of their videos demonetized. It's not that easy to be discovered on YouTube gaming, if you're just starting out. Again, I believe that it's really better suited for those of you that have made a lot of content on YouTube, have a decent following. And then, if you're interacting through your audience via the comment section, even just kind of take the temperature, see, look, hey, would you guys and gals be interested if I started to live stream? Because the viewing experience is relatively good. Chat's on the right side, as you would expect from a live streaming platform. And one of the neat little features of YouTube gaming is the ability, it has built-in DVR. So if you tune in, say this channel that you want to watch, you missed it when it first started, and it's about 3 or 4 hours into it, well, you can pull up that channel and you can rewind up to 3 hours back, if you so wish. So it's a neat little feature of YouTube gaming. It's a tough sell, I think, if you're just starting out, if you're just getting into live streaming. But if you already have a large audience on YouTube, it might be easier for you to stream via YouTube gaming than attempt to make a transition to one of the other services. Next, let's talk about Twitch, right? Twitch is obviously the largest platform out there. I mean, you look at the numbers again at a kind of an off-peak time of day, and a number one channel right now has 18k viewers. Number two is just over 10k. Twitch is a funny animal. Because, again, for someone just starting out, when you see these people streaming on Twitch and you see these numbers, when you see a big streamer getting all these donations, getting all these subs, it's easy to think, wow, this is going to be, this is the way to go. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way, because the downside of a platform being so well saturated, of being so well established, is it's very difficult for you as an individual to break out. Now, that's not to say it's not possible, and you shouldn't, look at it negatively. It's just a case of being realistic. Just recently this year, we had an interesting situation where before, Twitch used to have very clear-cut partnership details, right? To become a partner on Twitch, you had to hit certain milestones, a certain amount of followers, right? A certain amount of concurrent viewership, and then you could apply for partnership. And once you applied for partnership, that opened up monetization, where people could subscribe to you. You could start reaping in ad revenue and whatnot. And then they changed their partnership requirements to instead a very ambiguous type of wording. Let's have a look here. Yes, partnership guidelines: an established and steadily growing audience in chat, a regular broadcast schedule of at least 3 times a week, and that's pretty much it. They say right there that it's on a case-by-case basis. Now, for a lot of people on Twitch, that hurt. It made it very difficult because they thought they're ready, or in their mind they felt, I'm ready to be a partner. They would apply, they got turned down, so they'd grow a little bit more, they'd apply, they'd get turned down. And what we started to experience this year was an exodus from Twitch. At the time, before YouTube changed its partnership requirements, and before Mixer changed its partnership requirements, people started to leave. Especially when at the time Beam, which is what Mixer formerly was called, had some interesting little guidelines for people on other platforms. If I pull these up really, really quickly, if you were on a streaming platform and had 15k followers and 75 plus concurrent viewers, you could actually enter that platform possibly as a partner. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, wait a minute, if you had that large of a viewer base, surely you would have already got your partnership, right? Well, no, it wasn't necessarily the case, because again, Twitch was doing a case-by-case basis. So how they combated that, when they started seeing people leaving the platform, they introduced the affiliate program. And the affiliate program's great. It allows, streamers with, relatively low numbers. All you need to do is have 500 total minutes broadcast in the last 30 days, 7 unique broadcasts in the last 30 days, an average of 3 concurrent viewers or more, and at least 50 followers. You could then apply for affiliate status. Now, disclaimer, there's a good chance those requirements will be changing in the near future. But for now, look, that's where they're at. And affiliate status is great because initially it allowed viewers to donate via bits. They could earn bits and use these to cheer, allowing the streamer themselves to get a little bit of revenue from that. And then just recently they also introduced the sub button for affiliates. So there you go. Now you have this ability to earn money. There's still no ad revenue, but that might be coming for affiliates. But they also did other things like allow you to advertise games at the bottom of the stream, get a bit of revenue from that. So it's a great program, and it looks on the outside, oh wow, this is a way that I can make money right away, almost right away. I can start making money. But there are some downsides. Once you signed up for the affiliate program, that's you locked in. Your content is exclusive to Twitch. You can't multi-stream if that's your thing. You can't stream, say, to Twitch and at the same time to your YouTube channel if you're an affiliate, whereas partners can. Partners are allowed to do this. Partners can live stream to Twitter and their Twitch channel at the same time, and to YouTube and whatnot. So we're in a very, very interesting position with the Twitch affiliate status. They've, a lot of people try to stay positive about it, and don't get me wrong, it is a very good thing, but there's significant business reasons for why the affiliate program was introduced, and it was basically to try to stop people from leaving the platform, lock them in, tie them in, and also give yourself a bit of hope. It's the ability to kind of hang that carrot on a stick over your head a little bit, saying, oh no, you apply for partner, but oh, you're almost there. Maybe try next time. Again, it's a very, there's so many polarized views on Twitch at the moment, but overall as a platform, it's a great choice, has a huge audience. And now with the introduction of extensions for your stream, there's some really, really cool things you can do. As far as having interactive little things on the screen. Same with your panels. Your panels can now live update. Overall, Twitch is a great platform, especially if you're just starting out. There's going to be a lot of features, a lot of people there. Of course, there's a bit of toxicity, but hey, that's just par for the course. Everywhere you go, there's going to be a little bit of toxicity, which, funnily enough, kind of brings us in the Mixer. Mixer, which was formerly Beam, again, an interface that's relatively familiar, slightly different, because a lot of these tiles will, show you relatively live content. The filters aren't as well done as they are probably on Twitch, but they've got some nice little features like the ability to go to up and coming, see who's relatively new and whatnot. The big selling point with Mixer initially was, it was so small. It made it easy to get noticed on Mixer. They've got great forums. The community as a whole has always been really, really strong, because most of the viewers on Mixer were also streamers themselves. So it was a very, very supportive environment. Raid culture has always been huge on Mixer, where, we've seen it on Twitch, of course, as well, obviously, but on Mixer, just every streamer will always end, almost all streamers, end their stream and go raid someone. And it's just a really, really nice environment. One of the biggest things about Mixer is FTL, faster than light technology. This means the streams, if a streamer is streaming an FTL, is a sub-second delay. Yeah, that's right. You type something in chat, and if the streamer's using an overlay that shows chat, it appears instantly. And if the person decides to reply to you, you get a response, again, instantly. So that's a really huge selling point for Mixer. It makes, this kind of concept of interactivity just a bit more realistic, when it is, instant back and forth. Why that's important with Mixer is because interactivity is kind of the whole base of Mixer. You can get these different extensions is the wrong word, but these panels underneath the stream. Like myself, I stream the Mixer and I've got a soundboard, so you can kind of accrue this currency within Mixer, which kind of, as the Mixer team calls it, gamifies the viewing experience, where you're earning currency no matter what channel you're watching, and you can spend this currency on different things. So in my case, I use a soundboard for a bit of comic relief, a bit of fun, and viewers tend to really enjoy that. But likewise, these interactive panels can actually be integrated into games using a bit of coding, whether that's Python, whether that's Java. You can make your own boards to do things. Like if you're playing on PC, I've seen some really interesting integration with Minecraft, where the audience can actually spawn things in a Minecraft server. The Telltale games in the future are going to have this interactivity where you might get to a point and you have to make a choice, and the choice might be out of your control as a streamer, and it'll be the audience who makes that choice for you via these interactive buttons. There's a lot of other things about Mixer when it comes to their technology. Keep in mind, this is the platform that's backed by Microsoft. YouTube gaming is backed by Google, Twitch is backed by Amazon, and Mixer is backed by Microsoft, right? Your big three. And the technology for Mixer is quite good. It's not perfect. They've had a lot of hiccups, but their ability to stream at 4K is there. They've been testing that for a long time. They've got much higher bandwidth available than you do on other platforms. So if you want to stream at, it used to be 10 megabits per second, but now it's went down, I believe, to 9. So streaming at 1080 with no visual degradation of quality is a possibility. Overall, Mixer's a good platform. But once they opened it up to consoles, and so now you've got all these Xbox One players that are on there, I have to say, from a personal point of view, there is a lot more of the trolls that we've all encountered, right? Regardless of platform, you will encounter them. And we knew it was going to happen with Mixer eventually, and unfortunately it has. Before, chat was a really nice, safe environment, and now, hey, they pop on, it happens. You just have to deal with them accordingly and move on. But overall, Mixer's a good platform. But I mean, that's the big three right there: YouTube gaming, Twitch, and Mixer. Again, they're all similar, they're all different, and they all have different, ways to monetize yourself. Mixer partnership rules were recently really low, hence why we experienced that exodus from Twitch. But now they've came up quite a bit. Now you need to have, the minimum requirements are 750 followers. You need to have a viewer count consistently in the 50s for at least 2 months. And it also makes sure that you're streaming in a 720p or better resolution. So it's still very attainable, but due to Mixer's smaller audience when compared to a platform like Twitch, it might seem quite difficult. I've seen a lot of frustration lately on social media of streamers who've applied for partnership time and time again, and they're not quite there. To the point where they start thinking, oh, well, you know what, to hell with this, I'm going to switch platforms. I'll go to Twitch and get my affiliate status so I can start making money. And again, that just comes down to you and what your motivations are. So right, next let's talk about Smashcast. Now, Smashcast is an interesting streaming platform. If I pull up just really quickly, it's, again, an interface that doesn't look super drastically different. It's got the kind of live tile thing going. But, I mean, here at the bottom, you can see esports, right? And when you look at some of these channels, you see a lot of this team versus this team. And that is really the focus of Smashcast. Smashcast has basically risen from the ashes of Azubu and Hitbox. Azubu and Hitbox were both they were Twitch rivals, if we're honest, right? And they were struggling. They both had quite a few issues. Hitbox had the tech, but it failed to get big names onto their service. Whereas Azubu, on the other hand, they spent a whole ton of money to get some of the big names, but a lot of controversy arose. Their reputation ended up just going right in the gutter, and there to go. So both of these platforms are struggling. They were on their way out. So basically, what happened was Azubu decided to buy Hitbox, and they revamped and they relaunched themselves. And so now they're called Smashcast. With basically Smashcast kind of vision, is to be more about esports. They do have a high user base, not as big as Twitch, but at their peak in 2016, if you combine Azubu and Hitbox's numbers, again, this is according to Gartner, they had a user peak of 20 million in 2016. So they've got the numbers there, and they can experience growth. It's very, very possible. Currently, you can't stream from console. You'd have to be on PC to use Hitbox, as far as I know. Smashcast, sorry, I'm still trying to call them by their old name. It is you can download it to your mobile if you wish, your cell phone, whether that's on the Apple operating system, iOS, or an Android device. It's quite interesting. They're investing technology. They've got a 4K production studio opened up in Vienna, Austria, and they're really, they're introducing 360 VR support. Again, the technology looks like it's there. It looks amazing. I just personally don't know of many people that watch a lot of Smashcast, but it appears that they're trying to spend quite a fair bit of money getting kind of exclusive big names. I mean, when I say big names, I mean pro gamers. If you look inside Asia, Korea, Japan, China, they've got their own little kind of it's not micro by any means, but it's almost a separate kind of entity, because there's a lot of stuff over there that, these guys and gals over there, they don't use Twitch. Some do, but, they have their own streaming platforms. And so what Smashcast is trying to do is trying to become the biggest esports platform outside of that environment, for the Western world, which is a tall order. Hats off to them for giving it a try. And we'll just have to see, because it's too early to tell if they are going to succeed or not. But they've said a lot of things. They're going to try to, they're trying to support small to medium communities, but they're also actually headhunting pro gamers, esport teams, and of course there's monetary incentives here. Azubu had a bad reputation for that. They had very, very delayed payments, and that was one of the largest controversies when it came to Azubu. With Smashcast, they're hoping to address that. They're hoping to fix that. Basically, they're saying that early on, management had overinvested in licensing arrangements without actually working out a return mechanic. And, moving forward, most cases have been resolved. There's only a few that are still open for a number of reasons, but they're getting there. They're fixing that, and they're hoping to, partner with more industry players as a way to allow streamers to monetize. But there's no kind of firm information on how that's going to happen. But it's interesting. If you're a hardcore FPS player and you play in tournaments or you play a lot of ranked, then Smashcast might be of interest to you. And in fact, as time goes on, Smashcast might become more in the spotlight. Because I've talked about Smashcast with a lot of my peers and friends, and most of them didn't even know it existed. So watch this space. We shall see. We shall see how it gets on. So those are the big four. I mean, I'm calling Smashcast one of the big four because they deserve that. They've been through a lot. They've spent a lot of money, but I suppose Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube are the big three. But besides them, we've also got these newest additions, which is social media, Facebook Live, and of course Twitter or Periscope. Now, I'm of the opinion that those platforms on their own, they're a tough sell. Because let's be honest, a lot of people who stream are wanting to get some type of monetary earnings of some kind. Now, a lot of people don't. A lot of people just stream for the fun of streaming. And if that's the case, then yeah, doing Facebook Live, great option. Interactivity is a little bit different. It's the same with Periscope. Their chats aren't as developed as they are on the actual, streaming platforms themselves. But again, if you have a huge Facebook following or huge Twitter following or Periscope following, these services are a very good option for you. As far as solely streaming to them, I'm really not sure, how much of how successful you would be if you did that. Again, I think it's too early to tell. With Facebook and Twitter, I think both of these platforms, because they're social media, I think they serve as good advertising or a good way to get yourself out there. There's every chance, by doing a Facebook live stream of you playing games, you might get discovered, by a company, maybe for sponsorship, or, same with Twitter, you might get noticed by someone. And I think that's where they really stand out. I think on their own 2 feet, it's going to be hard to establish an audience, especially if you're starting from scratch. But if you are, streaming consistently on Mixer, streaming consistently on YouTube Gaming, I'm not including Twitch because remember, if you're a Twitch affiliate, you cannot stream. You can't live stream to another client, another platform at the same time. So be very careful. You would end up breaking your affiliate agreement if you were live streaming to Twitch and Facebook Live and Periscope at the same time. Whereas, of course, if you're a partner, you've got nothing to worry about. But no, Periscope and, Periscope Producer and Facebook Live, they serve as very good tools. They're useful in that regard, where you could advertise. You could say, hey, come watch me on Twitch. You could do a little short kind of maybe when the stream first starts off, on Facebook Live, saying, hey, look, right, here's where I am, here's my channel name, come check me out. So they're useful tools, but I think as platforms on their own, that's why they're not included in the same, they didn't get the same amount of airtime, so to speak, because they're not the same type of streaming platform, obviously, as YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and Smashcast. But they are there, they are available, and, they're a useful tool. So yeah, platform choice. It's very, very complicated. It's not just as simple as saying, oh, look, Twitch has the most, I'm going to go with that. Because there's a lot of things going on with Twitch. A lot of really good things, but then there's also other, things that you need to kind of take into consideration when it comes to this affiliate status. Same with YouTube Gaming. YouTube Gaming, I think, is an excellent platform if you already have a large viewer base on YouTube. It makes sense to stick with that platform and just live stream on it rather than, switch to a different platform. And then likewise with Mixer, because it is small, or smaller in comparison to the big guys, it's probably quite easy to start out on Mixer, but at the same time, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get partnership, in the grand scheme of things. Regardless of what platform you choose, remember, it all still depends on you. Remember, we talked about you last time. So just keep that in mind. And whatever platform you choose, I hope that it works out great for you. Next time, of course, we're going to be talking about streaming from console, because depending on what console you're on, if you don't have a computer, you're limited to the platforms of choice. And so that's why I wanted to talk about platforms first, before we actually get into that. But anyway, that's enough for now. Thank you for watching, and catch you next time.